Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're going to crack the code on a procedure you'll see all the time, urinalysis. Now it seems pretty straightforward on the surface, right? But trust me, the coding can have some hidden traps. So let's walk through the official CPT guidelines together so you have the right framework to code this thing correctly every single time.
So, picture this. It's your first week on the job. A urinalysis report lands on your desk, but the test isn't one of the usual suspects you studied. What do? That little moment of panic? That's exactly what we're going to solve today. The CPT manual gives you a really clear path, and knowing how to follow it, well, that's what makes a great coder.
Okay, first things first. Before you do anything else, you always start with your main toolkit. For urinalysis, that's the 81000 to 81099 code series. Just think of this section in your CPT manual as your home base. It's the first place you look every single time, no exceptions. Now, inside that series, you're going to find the codes for the most common tests. These are your daily workhorses. They cover pretty much everything from a simple dipstick test to the more complex, automated ones that even include microscopy. Honestly, these codes are going to become second nature to you because they are the right choice for the vast majority of reports that'll cross your desk.
But what about that weird one from our scenario at the beginning? You know, the non-standard test. This is where you stop being just a coder and you start being a detective. When you've looked through all the standard codes and nothing quite fits the report in front of you, you've hit a fork in the road.
And here's the good news. You don't have to guess which way to go. The CPT guidelines lay out a super clear decision tree for you. And remember this, great coding isn't about memorizing thousands of codes. It's about understanding the logic of the system. So let's break down those two paths, shall we? Okay, your first move, and this is always the preferred route, is to hunt for a more specific code. This path is all about precision. And why does that matter so much? Because the whole goal of coding is to paint the clearest possible picture of what was done for the patient. Being specific means accurate payment, clean data for research, and it's your best defense against any compliance issues down the line.
And here is a critical pro tip for you. This often means you have to look outside the main urinalysis section. Yeah, if the test was for a very specific substance, we call that an analyte, you'll probably need to flip over to the chemistry section of your CPT manual. Finding a precise code there is always the better choice over using a generic one.
All right, so what happens if you've checked the standard urinalysis codes and you've dug through the chemistry section for a specific analyte and you still come up empty? Only then, only after you've exhausted every other option, do you take this second path. This is your absolute last resort. It's the safety net for a genuinely new or really uncommon procedure.
This path leads us to one specific code, 81099, the unlisted urinalysis procedure. The key word here is unlisted. You only use this when there is truly no other CPT code that accurately describes what was done. It's a tool you need to have, for sure, but using it comes with a major catch. See, using an unlisted code like 8109 isn't the end of your work. It's actually just the beginning. You are essentially putting up a big red flag on this claim for the insurance company and saying, hey, this is unusual, so let me explain. And that explanation has to come in the form of rock-solid documentation. And that documentation has to be super precise. You have to submit a special report with the claim that details three key things. 1, the nature of the test. What exactly was it? 2, the methodology. How was it performed? And 3, the clinical purpose. Why was this medically necessary? If you're missing any of those three pieces, the claim will almost certainly be denied. Phew. Okay, we walked down both paths of our decision tree, so let's zoom out for a second and put it all together into one simple but really powerful principle that's going to guide you for your entire coding career. This is it. This is the coder's golden rule. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this: specificity is king. Always hunt for the most precise code you can find before you even think about using an unlisted one. This isn't just some friendly advice. It's the absolute bedrock of accurate and ethical coding.
And that brings us to our final thought. This whole logic, this specificity-first way of thinking, it isn't just for urinalysis. Not at all. It applies everywhere in your CPT manual, from surgeries to radiology. So as you keep going in your studies, just remember that by mastering this one little decision tree, you're actually learning a fundamental skill that's going to help you navigate the entire world of medical coding. Thanks for tuning in.